Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajeevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpadarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschyata Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So the shloka for today is shloka number 10. So I will recite a few times and then we can practice. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yah lipyate na sapapena Padmapatramivambhasa Brahmanyadhaya karmani Sangam tyaktva karoti yah Lipyate na sapapena Padmapatramivambhasa Brahmanyadhaya karmani Sangam tyaktva karoti yah Lipyate na sapapena Padmapatramivambhasa. Please recite after me. Brahmanyadhaya karmani
Brahmanyadaya karmani
Sangam tyaktva karoti yah
Sangam tyaktva karoti yah
Lipyate na sapapena
Lipyate na sapapena
Padmapatramivambhasa
Padmapatram vivambasa
Brahmanyadhaya karmani
Brahmanyadaya karmani
Sangam tyaktva karoti yah
Sangam tyaktva karoti yah
Lipyate na sapapena Padmapatramivambhasa Brahmanyadhaya karmani Sangam tyaktva karoti yah Lipyate na sapapena Padmapatramivambhasa. Word for word meaning and translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Brahmani, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Adhaya, resigning. Karmani, all works. Sangam, attachment. Tyaktva, giving up, karoti, performs, yaha, who, lipyate, is affected, na, never, saha, he, papena, by sin, padmapatram, a lotus leaf, eva, like, ambhasa, by the water. Translation: one who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action. As the lotus leaf is untouched by water. So, in this particular shloka, the Lord is emphasizing that we should perform our duty out of a sense of responsibility. So, if at all anything that we should be attached to, it should be attachment to duties and responsibilities. Now, here the Lord is saying one who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, which means you are not attached to the outcome. Rather, any outcome or results that you get, you offer it unto the Supreme Lord. If we can come to this frame of mind in the way we conduct our lives, the Lord is saying, then any activity that you perform is not affected, even though such an activity may be less than perfect, or even the results may be less than perfect. So when one performs one's duties and responsibilities as a service to the Lord, then the Lord is using the analogy of a lotus leaf untouched by water. So the lotus leaf, the water simply floats on the lotus leaf like a little globule. So the water doesn't really impact the lotus leaf. So similarly, when we perform our duties and responsibilities, our mood should be that we are offering this as a service to the Lord, as a service to our spiritual master. So any activities that we undertake should be done as a matter of duty and responsibility to please the Guru and Bhagavan. So repeatedly, the Lord stresses on this particular aspect of how to perform your duties and responsibilities with detachment from the results. So everything that we do is actually surrendered to the Lord. So I was actually reading the 18th chapter, some of the purports that Srila Prabhupada has written in the 18th chapter. Actually, I think in the concluding verse of the 18th chapter, Srila Prabhupada is writing in the 78th shloka. Srila Prabhupada is writing that a person who goes to work, whether they are in the factory or in the IT industry or wherever it is that they're going to work, when they go to work, their mood is, I am working for Krishna. Their mood is not, I am working for my family. So one's mood changes to, I am doing this for Krishna. So whatever results come out of my taking on this job, this paid job, I will offer it to the Supreme Lord. And Srila Prabhupada writes in that purport as well, that when he started this ISKCON movement in the West, some of his disciples who were brahmacharis means unmarried, they would work and every single penny that they earned, they would come and give it to Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that such devotees are as good as sannyasis, because they have let go of the results of their work as well, completely in the service of Lord Krishna. There is one very famous disciple of Srila Prabhupada that comes to my mind who did this, Brahmananda Prabhu. He was a professor in college, and when he saw the other devotees taking full-time service in the temple, they were busy with preaching activities, distributing books, printing books, etc. So one day Brahmananda Prabhu comes and tells Prabhupada, even I want to be full-time devotee in the temple. I want to give up my job. And at that time, Prabhupada says, no, you should not. He says, I want you to work and offer your savings completely for the purposes of this ISKCON movement. And that's what Brahmananda Prabhu did. He simply followed the instruction of his spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. And whatever earnings he got out of teaching in college, that entire paycheck outside of covering his basic expenses would be given to the temple. And Prabhupada is saying such souls are very rare, who are simply not attached to their earnings, not even a little bit of attachment to their earnings. They give everything in service of the Supreme Lord. So this is actually the question that Arjuna asks in the 18th chapter. What is the difference between a sannyasi and what is tyaga or renunciation? So this kind of tyaga is far superior, the Lord says in the 18th chapter. Although there is no difference between a grahastha who's worshipping the Lord in this mood versus a Vaishnava sannyasi who is also worshipping the Lord in this mood. On a certain platform, there is no difference between them. But the ability of a householder to do this is very difficult. This kind of detachment from results, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is a very exalted position for anybody. So here, that's what the Lord is saying. If you can surrender the results unto the Supreme Lord, then anything and everything that you do is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. This does not mean that one has the opportunity to violate scriptures. As long as we are operating within the scriptural boundaries and still able to follow this principle of offering everything in the service of the Lord, then this is most sublime. That's the essence of this shloka.